So Microsoft has just sent out copies, I shouldn't say copies, but free Xbox One X's out to media and YouTube influencers, which is pretty common in the gaming industry when you're putting out a new product and you want to get said product out and you want people to get their hands on it. You want to get people who have influence or who run gaming sites to do unboxings and break down the specs, the final specs of the console, and kind of give viewers, followers a hands-on, your hands-on or hands-on impression on this new product. That product being Xbox One X. Hey everyone, I'm Enrique. Welcome to another BRAP rant. And typically these rants, for those of you who don't know, are usually topics or things that that I see on gaming forums and that I see on Twitter as well. Speaking of gaming forums, big shout out to the folks at Reset Era who went out and, after the whole debacle of NeoGAF, a lot of the, remember, a lot of the admins and mods left, a lot of community members left. So there's some folks from that community. These are the good ones, I would say. These are the good guys who decided to come together and start this new community. I think they're already at 10,000 members now, which is just huge. I mean, they just opened up this week, and I believe they just opened up registration officially to the public yesterday. So, big shout out to Shinobi, Z Huge, and everyone else who has put in a lot of work to get that site up and those forums up and running. So, yesterday and on Twitter, I noticed a trend. I noticed that there were some, not all, some members of the, if you want to call them members of the Xbox community, or fans of the Xbox. There were some that were vocally displeased with Microsoft, with the fact that Microsoft was giving out or sending free Xbox One X's to media types, to certain YouTube influencers. In their opinion, they were upset because the belief was that there were other more deserving members of the Xbox community that should have received these Xbox One X consoles, instead of certain media types who were critical of Microsoft over the last couple of years, certain YouTubers or influencers who were critical over Microsoft over the last couple of years. Look, people, their job as media types and influencers is to be critical. They are often critical of a variety of products. And this isn't new. This isn't new in consumer products where you may have someone review a car or a refrigerator. And if the product isn't good, they're going to be critical. And look, and let's face it, let's come to this realization once and for all that Microsoft did not put out as good a product as Sony did in 2013. Now, that has changed since. I think we can all agree that Microsoft has done one hell of a job with the Xbox One X in terms of its hardware features. They really put a lot of thought into it. They put a lot of thought into the design, the internal design, the components, the aesthetics. I mean, it's a great looking console. It looks like, from what we've seen from some of the games that are going to be ported over, that like a game like Shadow of War, these games are in fact, if developers take the time to do so, are seeing some benefits, and that's great. That's great for gamers. That's great for the industry. And I tell you what's going to happen. I tell you what's going to happen, people. You're going to see, and you're going to see certain Xbox fans complain about this. And, oh, the media is changing their narrative now. No, when you put out a good product, the product's going to be praised. The product will be praised. When you don't stumble out the gate the way Microsoft did in 2013, and you put out a good product, and the messaging is sound, the product the product you're putting out is great. you are not going to receive a lot of criticism. And so I don't understand why there's an expectation in some cases, or even this the idea of entitlement, this sense of entitlement where, you know what, we've been waving the green flag since 2013 when the media turned your backs on Xbox or on Microsoft. You know, we sat there, we got in the trenches, we defended you guys. Okay. Well, Microsoft never asked anyone to do that. Microsoft is a billion-dollar corporation. Microsoft only cares about one thing: making money. And so I was really surprised to see some people, this upset. And hey, look, and some people were being critical of Microsoft in this regard, and they were doing so in a polite way, in a way that wasn't, I would say, I don't want to use the word crazy, but they were, I guess, being they were being critical, but being respectful, I guess, in the same light. And then there was others that were taking a little bit too far. There were others that were like, "Oh, I can't believe it! Oh, the media, and Destin Gary said all these terrible things about Microsoft, and IGN said, fuck those guys. They don't care about Xbox. We did. And I just that's the most irrational thinking and thing that I've seen. And there was one guy out there saying, "Oh, Sony fanboys are attacking me now because the one time I'm being critical of Microsoft, these Sony fanboys are attacking me. They say that I'm not critical of Microsoft, but when I am, they attack me." And I'm like, "No, that's not what's happening here. You're being called out because you're turning this into console wars again." And this person knows who he is because that's what he does. He trolls. Um, and And I'm going to say something. If you're going to console wars, by the way, just own it. So yeah, so Daniel B in the live chat says fanboys can't comprehend the concept of constructive criticism of a constructive critic, and that is true. And I'll go back to this. I think part of it is that. I think part of it is, and I think again, I think some people took an approach where I don't think it was necessarily from a fanboy point of view per se. I think some people were legitimately surprised um, that there were some other people out there who may be close with Phil Spencer and the gang that game with them on a regular basis, that have a pretty significant following on Twitter, YouTube, whatnot, that didn't receive an Xbox One X. And I can say that those guys who didn't expect to receive those things and are okay with that. They understand that this is a business. They understand that Microsoft is in the business of, selling consoles. And look, we're about a week away from release of the Xbox One X. And I'm sorry, I'm just reading some of the feedback here. Sergeant No Rider says, if you can't call balls and strikes evenly on every platform, you're not a fair critic. That's all some people are saying. Look, I mean, people have certain. Look, here's the thing: humans have innate preferences with things, and they're going to, if someone prefers, their console and the color black with a matte finish, that's going to come out in a review. That's just natural. It's not the end of the world. And this is what people need to realize. If you like something, if you like a product, that's all that should matter to you. So long as that product works and does what it needs to do for you, that and it's built and has good quality, that's all you need to be concerned yourself. That's all you need to be concerned with. The issue with fanboys is that their issues come back to their own feelings of defensiveness and inadequacy, and they project this on a plastic box. And I've said this over and over again. People that are mature, people that are balanced, are capable of self reflection. They're okay with saying, hey, you know what? My console isn't perfect, but I like it anyway. That's a mature, healthy, smart perspective on things. But again, I'm just, I was just shocked. I think, for me, I look at this like this should be, if you're a big Xbox fan, this should be like, or if you're a fan of the industry, um, let's see. Sergeant No Writer says if the product is suppressed into non-existence by yellow journalism, you can't enjoy that product. The product goes away. I don't know if you're referring to the Xbox One, but I'm going to say that this product, if you are, and maybe you can clarify that in the live chat, Sergeant No Writer. Um, if you can clarify that, if you're referring to the Xbox One or not. But if you are, I can tell you that the Xbox One was not suppressed. I mean, Microsoft has been praised for doing um, some really good things with the Xbox One X. Game Pass has been praised. Backwards compatibility has been praised. I mean, even look at the excitement for the Xbox One X. Like this is like, to me, this is like the console that Microsoft should have put out. This is the kind of ingenuity or focus that we became accustomed to with Microsoft when they first got into the console business. Not like 2013 when they stumbled out of the gate bad. And go back to last console generation. The media influencers were very critical of Sony because Sony came stumbling out of the gate. Sony's as powerful as the PlayStation 3 was, people. And this is the part that kills me. If you're going to speak about the industry, you're going to make certain claims about media, you have to take an historical perspective. You have to know what you're talking about. You just can't throw out these blanket statements out there and say, oh, well, the media is biased because they don't like the way the left bumper feels on the Xbox One S controller. Okay. I mean, look, just go back to last console generation, people. Sergeant No Writer. So with Rise, okay. So with Rise, you're saying, so okay. So Sergeant No Writer says Rise, for instance, was a great game. It had some QTEs, but a solid story and great gameplay. Um, I got to be honest with you. If I compare Rise to other QTEs, let's say like a God of War, um, the QTEs were pretty bad in Rise. The story wasn't bad in Rise, but it wasn't the best. And look, ultimately the who's going to decide whether or not Rise gets a sequel, Sergeant No Rider? And this is what you guys got to stop putting all the blame on the media. It is on the onus. It is on Microsoft. It is on Crytek to put out a good game. That's on them. And if they don't do that, they don't do that. That's not the media. You know, I mean, and look, and in terms of gameplay mechanics and styles, they evolve. They change from generation to generation. QTEs may have been the hit last console gen, but you know what? With the advancement in technology and the different types of experiences we're having now, it may not be a thing now anymore. And that's what I'm saying. Like you got like this is the thing. Like games exist on this spectrum. Game design, gameplay exist on a spectrum. They change. And I say this because I've been gaming for 35 years. I've seen it. Actually, Sergeant Nowhere, that's not true. Loot boxes were mentioned in UC4. The reason why loot boxes were mentioned in Forza 7 because it wasn't necessarily the loot box as much as it was for how they changed the I think the VIP system where before you pay $20 you get unlimited credits or whatever it was on Forza 7. That's really why it was an issue. And look, on Uncharted 4 they talked about loot boxes. I mean, like seriously, like this stuff is ridiculous. And Sergeant, if you really study this, if you really go in and look, I mean, no points were taken off for Uncharted 4 for loot box. Speak again because you need to understand something. There could be certain elements of a game that outweigh the negative parts of the game, where those strong parts won't warrant a deduction in points um, when there's like negative things in a game. I hope that makes sense. What I'm trying to tell you. I mean, think about this. I mean, I mean, and there's so much like, and this is the thing, like, Sergeant, like, and I'm not trying to pick on you, but this is the problem. You guys focus on the wrong things. You guys are so worried about what the media says. Oh, well, they don't give, Microsoft a fair shake. They didn't deduct the point because on loot boxes, Uncharted 4. Who the fuck cares? How does that impact Forza 7? We all know Forza 7 is um, the racer. I mean, if you look at the media consistently praises that franchise. I mean, it's just, and this is the part that like kills me. Like you guys are focused way too much on things that are so trivial and inconsequential to your gameplay experience. You know, look, there's certain elements when I read a review from the media member that I might not agree with. I may say, you know what, I played this game, and I got to be honest with you, Mister. In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, I don't agree with this point here, but I don't go batshit crazy. And the other thing too is Sergeant No Rider and Daniel mentions this chat. No points were deducted from Forza. Forza. I mean, look at the media. If you want to talk about the media was praising how great this game looked. It's like it's I just I don't understand the focus. It's unhealthy. It really is. I mean, it's just it really takes away from one's enjoyment of video games. I mean, it really I don't have that mentality. I know what I like. I read reviews if I'm on the fence with things, if I want to make sure if I'm going to spend money. Sergeant, right? Okay, so you say Metacritic scores have economic consequences. They do. But whose job is it to put out good content? It's not the media's job, it's the game developer. If the game developer doesn't put out a good game, that's on them. That's not on the media. Like and Sergeant, you need to understand something. This is the dangerous part. When you guys start getting into that mindset of, oh, it's the media's fault, and you're not paying attention to what the developers are doing, that's not good. That's not good. The criticism of any should be on the developers. And by the way, it's 86 Metacritic, which is really good. I mean, anything 80 to 90 is really good, and it's not easy to get to that to be consistent with what Forza is doing. And Sergeant, I hear what you're saying that there are consequences on the future of an IP, but those consequences are established by the publishers. But again, that falls on the publisher or developer to make a game that is strong, that is good, that isn't rushed out, that isn't buggy. Sergeant No Rider, I got to be honest with you. I don't understand this infatuation with loot boxes, man. And It's like, dude, why do you care? I mean, seriously. So what review Forza 7 got you so upset over the loot box thing? I mean, again, you need to understand something, Sergeant. These games exist on this spectrum, and if one game is stronger, like it's funny, like I remember when Recore came out. I remember the whole Recore review, and people were saying, um, Recore got deduct for long load times. That's bullshit. Why is that? When you have a game like Bloodborne, which has big load times, which got like a 90 something, and people got upset. But you guys aren't critically thinking about this. Why? What is the fundamental difference between Recore and Bloodborne? Why would a reviewer look at Recore and deduct a point from Recore because it has long load times and not from Bloodborne? And it's easy. Think about think about think about this. Think about what Recore is loading compared to what Bloodborne's loading, visually speaking. That's why. That's the difference. And it amazes me. It's like where's the critical thinking, people? Like if you're going to be critical of an opinion, step back, read that opinion, that review, play the game, think about what he's saying or she's saying, step back. And I use the Recore example. Step back. Why is Recore being deducted? Why did they deduct a point from, let's say, Bloodborne when Bloodborne has long load times? It's easy because those things exist on a spectrum. Recore's load times, giving how visually demanding the game was, shouldn't have been there versus Bloodborne. Like, I give Bloodborne a pass on load times because of how visually intense and what that game is loading. Bloodborne is it's a better looking game than Recore. And yes, you're right, Sergeant Rowe. You can totally disagree with their opinion, but this whole thing of this whole thing of saying this whole thing of fairness, and trying to say, oh well, if you're going to take away from a loot crate, and this is the thing, you're only like, people only do this when they're uh, I actually, I don't know why they do it. Because I don't think that way. I don't understand. Hey, what's up, Al? Got big Al in the house. So I don't understand. I just, again, I think that um, I just think it's unhealthy and unrealistic to say, okay, well, if they deducted a point from 4 to 7 for having loot crates, that needs to be the standard for every game, because it doesn't work that way. It's not as black and white. There's so many grays that go into a reviewing of a game. A game may have a strong story, may have solid combat. And Al, you just hit the nail on the head here. The positive of Bloodborne far outweigh the technical issues, and that's what I'm trying to explain here. Is that you guys can't get wrapped up in a game in a review and say, and I use the whole Recore thing because it was an issue. People, like what you're bringing up with Sergeant No Rider, like as you're bringing up with 4 to 7, the whole loot crate thing. People had an issue with Recore being deducted for long load times, and their what they seemingly felt was injustice, because Bloodborne, in the words of some people, got a free pass for having long load times. But like Al said, the positive of Bloodborne far outweigh the technical issues. So and anyhow, so Sergeant, I'm not trying to pick on you, man. I just, obviously you and I have totally different opinions on this. I just don't agree with the whole media conspiracy and media bias. I just don't. I mean, Microsoft has had plenty of great games that have been reviewed. Um, that are on the console. I mean, look at Cuphead. I mean, look at Ori and the Blind Forest. Look at Sunset Overdrive. You know, and actually, and so someone and Sergeant, you just brought up the whole disc thing, which just came up, and I want to talk about. But back to the original point here with um, with with the rant, just some people feeling upset about the YouTube influencers and media getting Xbox One X's, and maybe some individuals who've been very strong in the community and have had relationships with some of the with some members of the Xbox team. I mean, um, I think you guys, we got to remember something. I mean, these are billion-dollar corporations. Their goal is to please the shareholders, to save their jobs, and to make money. And ultimately, companies don't care about us. I mean, that's just, we got to come to the realization as gamers. Companies don't care about us. They care about our money. And since they care about our money, we need to hold them accountable in terms of them earning our wallets, earning our money. I mean, that should be the focus. It shouldn't be all this trivial shit that I see on the internet. It's mind blowing. And I go back to the same thing. The media was panning Sony last console gen because of the missteps it took and the fact that the PlayStation 3 was so difficult to develop for. So this is part of doing business, and this is it. So um, again, Sergeant Norat, I don't want you to think that I'm purposely picking on you, calling you out. I appreciate the dialogue, the fact that we could talk about this in a respectful manner. We just got to agree to disagree here, right? So, but no, seriously, I definitely appreciate giving your thoughts here in the live chat. And big shout out to everyone in the live chat, by the way. Really good to see you guys join us, or join me, because I'm solo today. Um, but another topic, and something that happened recently, um, the whole disc thing. This, you guys may remember the whole green disc aren't sexy thing with Titanfall 2, and at the time um, Microsoft had the marketing rights to Titanfall 2, and the developers tweeted out green discs aren't sexy, and people lost their proverbial minds. And this became a thing where, this doesn't happen to Sony, it only happens to Microsoft. There's developer bias. And it turns out, as you know, green disc in the media are discs that have not been pressed yet. They're not the final product, if you will. And that's all that was. So, um, and it happened again. It happened again. And let's see here. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a sec, guys. I need to send something out real quick, a link. All right. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, what's up, Stick Figure? Yeah, Stick Figure's right. I mean, it was a handful of people, but here's the point, Stick. And this is the problem. I mean, a few rotten apples do spoil the bunch. Um, and you had your usual suspects. You had one particular individual who's well known amongst the Xbox community, um, that immediately tweeted us out, and you guys know who I'm talking about. And it's unfortunate because here's this Ubisoft developer who works his ass off. I mean, think about the time, how much time goes into developing a video game. Hey, what's up, E-Bunny?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Thank you for joining this BRAP rant. Where's Roach?
BRAP rant.
Hey, we got Yo, Al's hilarious. He's like, Enrique's obviously talking about me. Yeah, you know, Al, you're the one who likes to get the fanboys riled up. You like to stir the pot. Yeah, Al, you gotta Al, if you can, you gotta come in and join us, man. Can you join us? For those of you who don't know, Al used to be a co-host.
I've got a lot of games to get through this weekend, man.
Al always has lots of games to get through. I love Al's gaming, man. The guy's like, I've been eating junk food all day and playing Wolfie. Yeah. So, oh, okay, Al. Okay, this thing's about to get all right. And we try to wrap this up soon too, guys. I only got about 20 minutes left. 25 minutes.
Then that Saturday real life taking over.
Yeah, I got some stuff I gotta do.
Yeah, I had a small window, man. My daughter's distracted, so I was like, let me get in here and throw some of these bowls with Enrique.
Yeah, I appreciate
all
that,
this
man.
Nonsense going on right now.
Yeah, so I don't know how much you heard about the I was talking about the some people being upset about the gifting of Xbox One X's to YouTube influencers and media, but
right.
And I know you and I have talked about this, but I think you would agree. I mean, this is a business. I mean, this is what they have to do, especially with the new product. There's a lot riding here for them, and I think that anytime you put out, the initial feedback that I've seen from media and most people, I think, is that people are excited for this console. The hardware's impressive. We've seen some games really benefit from the hardware with Shadow War. I thought that was impressive. I think what they did with Gears, I mean, giving people the option to do 4K 30 or 1080p 60, I was like, look, man, 1080p 60 all day.
Right. Hey, I want to shout out, what's up, Stick Figures? Thanks for coming in. You see what he just said, right? That's a very good point, man. Like, if you've been in this situation and when the whole world comes at you, and it's really not cool that you send the whole world, well, not should say the whole world, because this Twitter universe thing is really small, but the dude that got, jumped on about this Assassin's Creed thing had like 200 something followers. You know what I'm saying? He's not a marketing guy. He's just a guy that's developing the game. And his reasoning was, look, this is the pick this guy had, I have a PS4 at home. That's the one I showed, but hey, this game's gonna be awesome whichever platform that you pick.
Stick Figure says, you think the obsessed fanboys dress in green and blue? I don't know, Stick. They might, man. They might. Sergeant, I don't mention his name because it's like free advertising for him, and I think Stick already mentioned it. Al, what's going on, man?
Not a whole hell of a lot, man. I played a lot of games in the last 24 hours. I'll tell you that,
dude.
Holy shit! That Wolfenstein is amazing. Okay.
I know we're here for a rant, but Al, bro.
I know.
Wait. No. I'm not cutting you off because I want to address this. Because I was gonna hold off a little bit longer on Wolf while I play a little more Mario or whatever. But what you told me yesterday, I went last night and picked it up, right? And first 30 minutes, I was like, this is a different level. This is a completely different level of first-person shooter, storytelling game, and immediately I had a connection with BJ as a character. Immediately.
Absolutely. It's incredible. And I know we're hijacking the rant, totally. But
within a rant, we can have some hype.
I want to speak my rant. My rant is it curb stomps Titanfall 2 single-player campaign all the way from start to finish.
Wow, I can't wait to get through the rest of it, but it
is awesome. And I've just started over again today.
Nice. Wow. And Titanfall 2, I mean, none of us expected that campaign to be that good.
Hey, I'm not. Yeah, they're not denying that campaign is amazing, but this is the best. This is the best first-person shooter campaign I've ever played in my entire life.
That's what I'm saying. Wow. That's some high praise, and honestly, just from my small sample size, I can co-sign on that. I'm already I can't wait to get back to this game.
Awesome game. Okay, so back to the rant. Catch me up. What are you guys talking about here?
Well, we're getting into people melting down a little bit over media types getting.
I just want to, since we're talking about Wolfie and Al. I think Al. I mean, you play a lot of games, right? and I think I've always trusted your opinion on games because you've played a lot of games.
I play a couple.
Yeah,
he's going to play a game from time to time.
But you're right, man.
For people listening, I picked up all 3 big games that came out on Friday. I got Assassin's Creed Origins here, I got Mario Odyssey, and I got Wolfenstein, the new Colossus.
And how crazy is that each one of those games has like a ridiculously high score.
Metacritic, I can't believe it. They're already kicking our ass, and it's just like going into like holiday season.
Right.
Parents are like shaking in their boots for their kids to like ask them like, "Mom and Dad, can you actually get me 3 games for Christmas?" It's going to be an expensive holiday for people. And Call of Duty isn't even out yet. That's crazy.
Yeah, you're right.
Or Battlefront.
Crazy.
Yeah, man.
But you guys touched upon like just immediately that connection you feel with BJ. I really feel like maybe they fleshed him out more as a character this game, and you really get more of an emotional connection. And the game, and so I went from playing Mario
Me too.
to playing Wolfie, and it's like I was like, and I felt like I was doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Like when you play something, like when you're little, like your parents are like, "Oh, don't watch these kind of movies," or "Don't do," and because I went from like this, Mario, which is a just a, I don't want to say it's a kid friendly game. It's
Mm-hmm.
and then going to something that's lighthearted to super mature and in your face, my brain had to adjust.
Mm-hmm. Bro, like Al said yesterday, he goes, Wolfenstein has like the best intro of any game that he's played, right? And I was like,
yeah,
this generation,
right? So when I went in to GameStop last night to pick up my copy, using the flip credit, shout out to Al, went in and got it. The guy that sold me said, "Dude, I hope you're ready for what you're about to experience."
Nice.
I was like, a friend of mine just told me the same thing. I said, I gotta get home, right? Bro, I'm telling you, that intro was like, wow. Like, talk about playing on emotions.
Yeah, there's very few games that I show my wife that I'm playing. I showed her the intro to The Last of Us, and she thought it was incredible.
Right.
I showed her the intro to this, and she was like, "Is this a movie? I really want to see what happens next." And I was like, "No, this is just a fucking first-person shooter that it's like no one. You're not supposed to think. You're just supposed to like kill Nazis. That's what the game is about. But they make it so much more than that. They give you the why BJ is like this. Like I connected so much with that character, not because I kill Nazis, but because of like things that he goes through in the game are some things that you've never seen in games before. Well, I haven't, and I've been around almost 40 years of gaming here, and I've just never seen anything like they do in this game, and they do it so well. It's great, and how you can take this game and what's happening in America right now. It's just like, oh God. Machine Games, like they deserve to get like an award for this. It's like it's incredible. It's speechless.
Yeah, man.
It really is.
And not we're not trying to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But I'll just say this: they amped Frau up to just like this in just the beginning. I don't know how far it goes in the game, but I was like, oh man, she was notorious the last game. Mm-hmm. But just those first few minutes with her in this game, I was like, oh God.
Oh yeah, like I didn't like her last game. I really don't like her now.
Oh yeah, she is pretty awful.
Yeah. Go ahead.
At the halfway point of the game, you're really gonna despise this lady.
But talk about building. I mean, in the first few minutes, just building her into just this larger than life villain. And like I said, I don't want to say too much because
no.
But dude, yeah, you're just like, wow, intense.
Roller coaster ride. I love it. I loved it.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back in there.
On that review, the live chat says she's a bitch.
Oh yeah, she is a bitch.
She's
on every level.
Yeah. No spoilers, but there are no spoilers. But a little tease. There's a bigger bad guy in there.
Ooh. Bigger than Frau. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Once you know who once you know what I'm talking about, that's the part I was talking about yesterday. The emotional part.
Yeah.
It's intense.
In a few weeks, we may have to do like a spoiler cast just to get in here and talk.
Yeah, you know what? We should do a spoiler cast after we all beat Wolfie.
Yeah, give it a few weeks. Let people get in. Yeah.
I was like, get on it.
I'm jumping back in there tonight, man, for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't want to beat it. I was so close. I thought I was close. There's a big chunk. There's a big chunk of the game left once you hit where I was at yesterday. I thought, I got to be close to the end. No, there's another there's about 3 more hours after what you think is the end.
Okay.
You got 3 more hours. So once you get to the point where you're like, oh, this is the end, this got to be it. No, man, you got a little bit more. But I wanted to save it for the end of the weekend before I go back to work. But I was like, oh, I got to see what happens.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. Great, man.
So Al, so we were just talking about, the whole, some people being upset about Microsoft sending out Xbox One X's free to YouTube influencers and
with 10 games
and media. Yeah, but that's smart though. I mean,
absolutely. It's about brand advertising on a bigger scheme. These people all have more than 200,000 or 300,000 viewers. I think there's a low benchmark here for how many viewers they have. They're just trying to get a positive message out to as many people as they can.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's face it, they're climbing back up the hill, and Sony's up at the top, and Nintendo's passing them climbing the hill. So they got to do something to get awareness out.
Right.
This machine is for the hardcore, but it's also going to be designed for people who didn't pick up an Xbox. There's way more people who didn't pick up an Xbox than there are people who have a PS4, right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a huge market that they can appeal to. It's just, are they going to appeal to them? How are they going to do this? And I think it's a good idea to get as many units out and show positive reviews. For the machine. Right. Now, all we've seen, I think, is just unboxing videos because no one can review anything until I think Thursday or Wednesday of next week.
Yeah, the 3rd, something like that. I think it's embargoed until the 3rd. So yeah, they can do the unboxings and kind of talk, but they can't show anything.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, though, I would put money on every Digital Foundry video coming going forward is going to say, oh well, the Xbox One X may be the way to go.
I would totally agree with you there, Al. I think there'll be instances where the PC might, but I think
yeah, absolutely. But I think the PC is on a whole different level. I mean, the PC is great, but you got to put a $400 graphics card in a PC to make it run games at 4K, and so
yeah. And honestly, I mean, it should. I mean, you had the Pro pretty much a year before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
And then you had time post that, kind of launching, because it was a couple months after they announced it, to kind of get that and go, okay, this is what we can do. And I'm sure Microsoft already had their plan in place, but you can kind of have that to go against too. So that's the other thing people got to get out of the weeds about too is, it's going to kill the Pro. Well, as it should for everything that is packed into it, it should. And for the confidence of having it for $100 more, it should absolutely, be a step higher and go further beyond what the Pro is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at least more consistently.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't mean for any, stretch of imagination or whatever that it stumble over my words here, that it automatically makes the Pro a piece of garbage or irrelevant. If that's what you rock with,
no.
So people kind of got to get out of those weeds on that too. But anyway, back to the whole people being upset that it's going to YouTubers. What do you expect Microsoft to do? I think people are learning a lesson right now that they don't have an investment in your console war. They're a business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And check how you're feeling about, this person bashed the Xbox. Okay, if they have some negative things to say, but they have influence, that's the person you want to get this thing in front of so they can go, I got to shut my mouth. They did it. They delivered it.
Look, and 9 times out of 10, you put out a good product, it's going to be received well.
Yeah, and who do they give the Xboxes to? Linus Tech Tips and all these people, Lamar Wilson. These are people who have 1 million followers. They're not giving them to random people. You know what I mean? It's
well, they're it's going to Boogie and people who had negative things to say.
Yeah, but he has a huge audience. Probably Jim Sterling's probably going to get one.
Right.
I mean,
I've seen the girls from What's Good Games are getting one. I think they sent one to Kind of Funny. Of course, you're going to send it to these places that have influence.
Exactly.
And
they got to sell us, man.
Right. And if you have confidence in it, you want to get it in front of people who may have been something of a naysayer. And honestly, I don't follow what everyone says because, again, none of those people push me to what I want to buy or what I don't buy. I can make my own informed decision. But if they happen to say, Xbox is taking it on the chin for this, or they said something that sounded a little negative, or God forbid, snarky because you're talking to an audience and trying to entertain people, get out of your feelings about it. The people that really have something invested in this are the people who created it.
Yeah, they're the only ones who have anything.
They should be the ones melting down. Exactly. They have something to actually lose over it.
Yeah.
You know, and high stakes, or not, I should say high stakes, but you put your life into this thing for, you know, more than a year, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, anybody who's ever created anything to put it in front of someone for judgment, that's a hard thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I mean,
so.
Sergeant No Rider in the live chat says Boogie made sense. Linus was weird because he can't be converted, and neither can his audience. They're not looking to convert people. They're just looking to get a message out. This is advertising for them.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't about converting people or getting people on one side, or this is about, hey, you know what? We got to get the word out. We're excited about our product, and we're going to get it in front of as many people as possible ahead of launch. And that's what any smart company would do. The other thing too is like I find it like really trivial. Like, this is a time I feel like if you're a diehard Xbox fan, and I see a lot of guys out there tweeting on how excited they are for the Xbox One X, all this other stuff is just it's not worth focusing on. I mean, you know, 2 weeks from today, or I should say a week, not today, but a week from Tuesday, the console comes out. I mean, everyone should be focusing on, holy shit, this console's coming out. It's finally here. Let's see what he can do. Let's
GameStop paid for mine.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, that's what people should be focused on, like the possibilities that this console, what this console can do, not the other bullshit.
And does this stop you from getting one and enjoying it? You know,
no,
it shouldn't.
No.
And, you know, I hear people scream all the time, you know, like Xbox is the best box and blah, blah, blah. But it's like you spend a lot of time trying to convince the rest of the world of that. You shouldn't have to. If you enjoy it, your enjoyment of it should just be enough.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, and nothing anyone can say, influencer, whatever, should be able to stop you from doing so.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, seriously. They won't stop me.
Hey guys, real quick, I want to transition because
sure. I know you guys have limited time.
Yeah, we have limited time.
We gotta get you back to gaming, huh?
Yeah, we got to.
No. Hey, I'm on a break right now. My wife wants to go get us food, so we're good.
We gotta figure out a time though, seriously, to once I beat Wolfie, Eric beats Wolfie, to sit down and do like a spoiler cast on Wolfie, because I agree with you. From what I've played so far,
it's amazing.
It's the best first-person shooter I played this console gen.
And so I will say, depending if you picked Fergus or the other guy, what the hell is the other guy's name? I can't remember.
I picked the guy to the right. Who's that? Is that Fergus?
Not this.
Goddamn. I'm drawing a blank.
I can't think of his name either. I'm drawing a blank. However, between the two, dramatically changes the story, just like the first one.
I figured as much. I figured that's why they. I was like, oh, this. Yeah, I figured as much when you had to pick.
Yeah.
So the other thing too that I want to talk about real quick is that, you know, the whole thing with the Ubisoft developer who tweeted out, you know, his copy, the PlayStation 4 version of Assassin's Creed Origins, which just came out on Friday. Yeah. And people getting crazy over that. You know, because Microsoft has a marketing deal, and, you know, lo and behold, a certain YouTuber who's a fanboy said, "Oh, here we go. This doesn't happen to Sony, blah, blah, blah." And I'm thinking to myself, dude, again,
non-stop, the game has been shown ever since its like announcement on Xbox One X.
Right.
Yeah. I haven't seen PC footage until yesterday or the day before online by official sites. And you hadn't seen PS4 footage officially until like yesterday or the day before on official sites.
Yeah.
They've had like 3 months solid of like non-stop Xbox One coverage.
But the other thing is, what people don't understand is, like, when you're a developer and the game comes out and you worked on it and you get to pick whatever version you want based on what you own. He's like, I own a PlayStation 4, so I got the PlayStation 4 version. And people were just
exactly
hounding him, and I'm like, this is so ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
it's like please don't hate all gamers and give up making games because we're idiots.
You know, and that's what these dudes don't seem to understand, man. It's like, again, someone's pouring their heart and soul into it and putting it out there, trying to actually drum up what we kind of all do this for, is to have fun and enjoy it, and you're taking the evil and darkness to them. Yeah,
man, that's crazy.
And
we fought, like, literally, like, and I use the word. I say we fought because there was a time before gaming was mainstream, like the way it is now, where like you were like looked down upon if you were a gamer. You were a nerd. You were an outcast.
It's still that way right now. I make fun of all of you guys.
Right. but think about how gaming was always under attack by, you know, the next senator trying to get a platform, you know, or
like gaming censorship.
You know, it's just, you know, now we have to fight it with fanboys.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, come on, man. It's like, and like the dude said, I'm not in marketing. You know, it's not my role.
That's just sad.
Al, big shout out to Wizland, by the way. He's saying that your voice makes him feel happy.
I know, I don't understand, but okay.
Al, I will say this, man. I love looking at your cat gif or avatar.
My avatar, the dead eyes.
Yeah, you know, seriously, he's got like, it's almost therapeutic, man. I know that doesn't make sense. You're probably like, okay, Enrique's crazy, but it's like he's got like this calm, like facial, like he has a calming effect. He looks calm. He's like, it's like he's looking at you saying, you know what, man, it's gonna be all good. It's gonna be okay.
No,
it is.
Al and I share a love for something, and that's damn good breakfast sandwiches.
Oh yeah,
it's an art form.
I'm cooking breakfast sandwiches tomorrow, so be sure to check out my Twitter feed.
Al knows just how to position the cheese where it looks just right. Like,
oh god, you're right. I always take pictures of them because they look so good, and they're always delicious.
But you're right, like Eric said, like even the way the cheese is positioned, like it's melted perfectly, like at the right angle. I mean, it's just like I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, man. No, I love a good breakfast sandwich too, man. I love breakfast food in general, so I'm always down for a nice breakfast sandwich.
Oh yeah, facts.
So
yeah, but I felt bad for that Ubisoft guy. It just it's kind
terrible.
It's kind of a black eye to the community because and I say this to people because it ends up happening is we all get lumped in, you know, because people assume that we're all like that. We're not.
Right.
No.
And kudos to him. And kudos to him and to the gamers who actually reached out to him and said, look, man, like, we're not all like this.
Yeah.
You know, and we're sorry that, you know, we're excited that you're shipping this game. It's been, you know, more than a year since we've seen Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So, don't judge us all by, you know, what a few do, which should be the message more often, you know. So
I mean, I was so excited for the game. I rented it on PS4. I bought it yesterday on Xbox One, but I can't play it until my X is here. Right. I don't even have an X. I don't even have my S anymore. But the game is wonderful. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
and that's all that matters.
Of course, Wolf took all my time, but what I played of Assassin's Creed Origins is awesome to me.
Well, look what happened to me. Like I started on Mario yesterday, you know, playing it with my daughter, and as soon as I picked up Wolf, I was like, "Uh-oh." I said, Mario might get bumped. Yeah, like Mario, outside. Exactly. But I said, you know, when she wants to play, of course, we'll play Mario. But I said, Wolf is probably going to take all my time until that's done. You know, which probably be a couple of days here. But yeah, I was like, this is special. And Assassin's Creed, like I tweeted out yesterday that Assassin's Creed games, being that they fall like around the holiday, were always like that game that I would take and just zone out like through Thanksgiving, you know, leading into Christmas or whatever. And some of my fondest memories were centered around those. And I hadn't really done that since Assassin's Creed 3 because I think that's around the time we started feeling a little bit of fatigue. I mean, Black Flag was great.
I love Black Flag.
But Unity kind of just put the nail in the coffin. Syndicate is really good, as you know, even though I haven't finished it. But looking at this one, I'm like, I can see getting that feeling back of sitting through the holidays and just zoning out with this game. You know, it just looks awesome. Just hearing what everybody has to say about it. You know,
it does. Yeah, it looks really good. And you know, I think what bothered me about the tweet too is that it takes away from the one thing we should be excited about, that a big franchise like Assassin's Creed, for all intents and purposes, seems to be back, and that's great for the industry. We want that. We want that. We don't want these franchises to fail.
Yeah, you know, that's a big deal. Like taking 2 years off, coming back with a strong game, probably the strongest Assassin's Creed since I don't even know. What was the last Assassin's Creed rated at average? Same 80, early 80s, 82?
Something like that, yeah. You know.
I love Black Flag, and this is the same Black Flag team. But what they did is
good.
If you like The Witcher and you love the curiosity that is ancient Egypt, which I didn't think I wanted until I saw like an overview of the game. It's pretty fucking cool, man. Pardon my language.
No, and I'm hearing the story is like really good. So yeah, like you said, it's a huge gamble to do that because gamers were very much in the here and now, and it's easy to be forgotten. Not that anybody's just going to forget Assassin's Creed, but it is a bold move. It was a necessary move, but to come back now, you're under the microscope and to deliver what seems to be a great game where it could have gone the other way.
Yeah,
you know, and to try to get that goodwill back, because Unity really did a number on them.
Oh man, Unity was rough. It was a great looking game, but man, they dropped the ball big time on that one for me.
Yeah, and it overshadowed Syndicate, which is actually a pretty good Assassin's Creed. With some interesting things that they were trying to do with it, but no one cared at that point or trusted it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's good to see them kind of come back. Adopt systems that are really working in other games and kind of adopt it to Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to jumping into that one. Man, this year.
Yeah, man. 2017, yeah, man. It's the best gaming year that we've ever had. People want to say, 1996. Oh, fuck 1996. Oh, well, 1998. No, fuck 1998. Fuck 2006. Fuck 2007. This is the best year for games that there's ever been.
Hands down.
I agree with you, Al. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and we have the age to be historians on this thing. We can tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were around. We were around.
Collectively, we've been around.
Yeah.
So
we've been around for a while gaming, There's definitely over 100 years combined experience here in this podcast.
Right.
Gaming.
And then to go for one Friday to have 3 like AAA level games drop and all go 3 for 3 in good reviews.
That's crazy.
And impressions and everything else.
Yep.
And like I said, I tweeted yesterday, judging from what I saw at my one small sample size at Best Buy, Mario's going to destroy like NPD probably.
I think so. When I was there picking up Assassin's Creed, like I said, that was the most Nintendo Switches I've ever seen in my life.
Me too. Yeah.
They had the Switch Odyssey bundles. They had like 30 of them at my Best Buy, and I was like, "Oh, that's crazy! I've never even seen one in this area. I live in South New Jersey, so it's like there's tons of people around.
Yeah.
I rarely see anything like that. So I think it's going to do some crazy numbers.
I think so too. I saw about 7 bundles because when I went to pick up my reserve copy, I saw like 7 bundles in reserve. But the number of copies of the game that were in the case were just ridiculous. That people had still to come pick up or whatever, And I was like, wow, that's considering where we were talking about Switch before it launched a year ago. I'm like,
we're all kind of
people are on board. Yeah. So
well, hey, gentlemen, on that note, and I would love to talk more about Nintendo and the Switch.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
But I am on borrowed time. My wife just actually called me, which means I'm probably supposed to go out and meet him out for dinner.
So, get on it, man. You're not playing any Wolfie later. I'll get on that.
Yeah, I'll be on Wolfie though later on. That's for sure.
Yep, same here.
Yeah, but hey, Eric, thanks for hopping in, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Dude, Al, always a pleasure, man. We love having you on. We got to get you back on again, man.
Yeah, thanks for letting me crash the party.
No,
yeah, man.
You're always welcome here, man. It's always good to talk to you, bro.
You are welcome anytime, my friend. Anytime, man.
Awesome.
Yeah. So on that note, we will be on the Ocho on Wednesday. I'm just kidding. We won't be on the Ocho because the Ocho is not real. You guys remember that? Yes, on the Ocho.
The Ocho.
Yeah. But hey, we'll be back next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do have a special guest with us, joining us, Matt Piscatella from NPD Group. Will be on with us to discuss NPD, and we'll be talking to him about his thoughts on the launch of the Xbox One Scorpio. Or not Scorpio, Xbox One X. So we'll have Matt. So definitely
you can call it the Scorpio. Come on now.
Yeah, I like Scorpio. I thought it was a cool name.
Oh man, I like Scorpio.
I like it better than X.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
I think so too. Just like I like NX better than Switch, but hey.
Yeah, me too. I like the NX better than Switch.
So
big shout out to everyone in the live chat, everyone who stopped by to chat with us and watch us live. Thank you. And to I forget, Sergeant No Rider, thank you for the dialogue, man. Again, we agree to disagree, but hey, we can have a difference of opinions and do so in a respectful manner without going crazy like we often see on Twitter sometimes.
Absolutely.
And so we'll catch you guys on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time again with Matt Piscatella from NPD. Remember to hit that like button, give us a little thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe as well. Definitely check out Wednesday night's podcast. We had special guest Jay Fonzarelli on. Jay's a good dude, and we had a really interesting conversation about Microsoft. So definitely don't want to miss that. But on that note, everyone enjoy your weekend. Enjoy those video games. See you Wednesday. Peace.